What's up, guys? Welcome back. A few weeks ago, I had the pleasure of spending some time in the beautiful city of Brooklyn, New York. And while I was out and about, I ran into this gem of a restaurant where they're known for their chicken and waffles. And if you know me, you know I'm a sucker for a piece of freshly fried chicken, so I had to run in there and grab a chicken sandwich. And man, I was not disappointed. As you can see, we ordered several things from the menu, and I left out of the restaurant happy and inspired for today's recipe.
So as you can see, we're back home in my kitchen. The New York trip was a couple weeks ago and your boy's supposed to be on a diet, but I can't get that damn chicken sandwich off my mind. So today I'm gonna show you guys how to make a delicious, crispy fried chicken sandwich with a sweet chili sauce and an Asian slaw. But before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. All right, so first things first, we're gonna get started with the marinade. I like a good buttermilk marinade. The buttermilk has a little bit of acidity, which tenderizes the meat, adds a little flavor as well. So we're going in with a couple cups of buttermilk, about 2 cups in total. As always, the specific measurements and ingredients will be provided for you in the description box below. 2 tablespoons of sriracha. And then to kick up the chicken flavor a little bit more, I'm going in with some chicken bouillon. Concentrated flavor, about 2 teaspoons of that. Pretty salty, so go light on the salt with the other ingredients. And of course, we gotta go in with the AP seasoning. It's a blend of salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder, a few other spices. If you don't have this, you can grab it via the link in the description box, or just use whatever your favorite seasoning is at home. A nice hefty serving of that. This is a low sodium product, so you can be a little bit more heavy-handed with it. Then we're going in with some adobo. Just a little bit. It has some turmeric in it, adds a little nice color to the party. And then last but not least, I'm gonna add some poultry seasoning. There we go. Now we're just gonna break out the whisk and mix to combine. Lots of good flavor in here. I like to marinate my chicken for at least 2 hours. I would say 2 to 24 hours. With a buttermilk brine, I wouldn't go longer than 24 hours because it'll start to get too soft. All right, so today we have some boneless, skinless chicken thighs that I've trimmed up and cleaned nicely. If you wanna remove some of this fat, you're free to do so. However, fat is flavor and we're leaving it on there today. I'm gonna dunk that right into the buttermilk bath and let that roll in the fridge for about 2 hours to absorb all that flavor. And then it'll be time to fry it up. So get in there with your hands, kind of work that marinade in there. Make sure the entire chicken thigh is covered nicely and fully submerged. And that's going in the fridge. All right, my friends, you can't have fried chicken without some breading. Today we have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. To that, I'm gonna add some cornstarch. That's gonna make sure that the chicken is extra crispy. 2 cups of flour and a 1/4 cup or so of cornstarch. That's my go-to blend for chicken. I'm gonna give that a good mix, make sure everything's evenly distributed there. And then we're gonna add our seasoning. All right, so now that we have that mixed together, we're gonna go ahead and season it up with a very similar seasoning blend to what we use for our marinade. I'm going in with about 1 teaspoon or so of the chicken bouillon. It's gonna add tons of flavor. Also going in with the all-purpose seasoning. Again, you can use just a little salt and pepper if you want to, or whatever your favorite all-purpose seasoning is will get the job done as well. And then, switch it up a little bit. I found this Peruvian seasoning at the grocery store that I'm really enjoying on my chicken. So we're gonna go in with about 1 teaspoon of that as well. If you can't find it, it's made by McCormicks, so you should be able to find it at most grocery stores, but if you can't, just use whatever your favorite chicken seasoning is. We're gonna mix that together. You wanna make sure that the flour changes some color. That way you know you got enough seasoning in there. All right, so this is a little controversial, but trust me on this one. I like to get in there with a fingertip to taste the flour to ensure that it's seasoned adequately. If you don't taste the flour, you're just guessing at the end of the day. And if I learned anything when I was in college, if you're guessing, you're gonna be wrong. So, fingertip, I'm not asking you to take a tablespoon. You just wanna make sure that you can taste the seasoning in there. I do, so we're good to go. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and make this Asian slaw. This is optional, guys, but I do like the flavor that it provides and a little extra crunch. nice and refreshing. To that 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, we're gonna add about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Next, we're going in with a 1/4 cup of rice vinegar. Any vinegar will get the job done, really. Rice vinegar is pretty mild, about a 1/4 cup of that. We're also gonna go in with about a tablespoon of ginger paste. You could also use fresh ginger, but you guys know I like my paste. We are using fresh garlic today though, that's a little change of pace. Next, I'm going in with 3 tablespoons of honey to sweeten up the situation. And then I'm going in with 2 tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce. Another quick reminder, guys, that all the specific measurements and ingredients are provided for you in the description box below, so don't forget to check that out. There we go. Then I'm gonna break out my garlic press and we're gonna press in 2 cloves of garlic here. All right, so now we're just gonna season it up with a little all-purpose or a little salt and pepper. And then we're gonna whisk that together. The good thing about an Asian slaw, guys, is you can use whatever veggies you enjoy. Today we're using some carrots, some cilantro, some broccoli slaw. I also have some radishes that I grated. Nice fresh ingredients. There we go. Make sure you taste as you go and adjust the flavor to your preference. All right, so at most grocery stores, you can find something like this. They'll have broccoli slaw or Brussels sprout slaw. There's a number of different versions of this. Great to make a nice slaw for your sandwiches. About 2 cups of that. Try not to make a mess like me. I'm going in with my grated radishes. They're gonna add a nice pop of freshness, some good crunch. Going in with some carrots because they're good for your eyes. At least that's what my grandma told me. I'm still wearing glasses though, so I don't know about that. And then the cilantro. Get in there with a spoon or a rubber spatula of some sort and just mix everything together. You have yourself a nice, colorful, delicious Asian slaw. Good. All right, so we're gonna pop that in the fridge, let that chill out a little bit until we make our sandwich. And now, my friends, it's time to make a sweet chili sauce for this fried chicken. We're going in with 1 tablespoon of butter because butter makes everything better, but the fat in the butter also helps bring the sauce together. So 1 tablespoon of butter, we're gonna allow that to melt over medium heat. All right, so I'm going in with 1 cup of this sweet chili sauce. You can use whatever brands you enjoy. Medium-low heat at this point. Now I'm going in with a couple tablespoons of soy sauce. 2 to 3, depending on how salty you want it. This is low sodium, so keep that in mind as well. Then I'm gonna add in a tablespoon of hoisin sauce, which is almost like an Asian-style barbecue sauce, for lack of a better word for it. Then I'm gonna add just a teaspoon of sesame oil. And give that a mix and allow that sauce to come together. You can make it spicy if you want by adding a little sriracha or some red pepper flakes, or you can sweeten it up with a little honey. And really, guys, you just want to warm this through. No need to really bring it to a boil or anything like that. There's quite a bit of sugar in this sauce, so you don't want it to kind of burn or caramelize too much. We just want to warm the sauce. You never want to put hot chicken in cold sauce. So we're going to warm this up and set it off to the side and fry up our chicken. So as you can see, we have our station set up. We have our buttermilk brine that's been going in the fridge for about 2 hours. We just brought that out of the refrigerator. We have our seasoned flour here, and then we have a aluminum foil lined baking sheet. What I like to do is bread my chicken and then let it sit for about 15 minutes before you fry it. That allows the flour to really adhere to the chicken. We're also gonna double bread these or double dredge them. That's gonna ensure they're nice and crispy. A nice thick layer of that seasoned flour is gonna add a nice crust to our sandwich. I'm using chicken thighs today, but you can use breast if you want to. There we go. Shake off any excess flour. Gonna put it right there on the baking sheet. And then we're gonna repeat that for each of our pieces of chicken. And then we'll go back through the whole process of dunking it in the buttermilk and then back into the flour. So for the second dip, we're going back into the buttermilk, knock off any excess, back into the flour. I like to use one hand for the first go around and the second hand for the other one. That way we don't get too messy. There we go. We got a nice crust. That's what you're looking for right there. Just repeat those steps for each piece of chicken. There we go. Get in there with your hands. Don't be shy. And that's what you want to see, my friends. No bald spots, double dredged. We're gonna let that sit for about 15 minutes, give that flour some time to really adhere to the chicken, and you're gonna have yourselves a crispy and delicious fried chicken sandwich. All right, so for our oil today, I'm using vegetable oil because it's a little cheaper and food is ridiculously expensive right now. But use whatever you have on hand. Peanut oil is a good choice, a little bit more expensive. I'm looking for 350 degrees on the oil before we drop the chicken. We're almost there. A good digital food thermometer will make sure that you know exactly what the temperature is of your oil. That way you don't have to guess. 350, in my opinion, is the best temperature to fry this chicken. So I'm gonna know exactly when this hits 350. So we'll be super accurate when it's time to fry up. All right, so we're at 350 right on the dot, 351. And now it's time to drop the chicken. Always do this gently, guys. You want to avoid splatter. Never overcrowd your fryer either. We're just going with 3 pieces today, so we should be in good shape. And this is going to fry up in about 7 to 9 minutes or so, depending on how big your chicken thighs are, how many squats they did at the gym. Give them a shake. Make sure they're not sticking to the bottom or sticking to each other, and just let them do their thing. We got a nice golden brown color going. I'm looking for 165 to 175 degrees internal temperature on the chicken. We're about halfway there. Brace yourself for an early money shot. Let's see how we're looking. Oh man, doesn't get much better than that. All right, so now the chicken's rested a bit, it's time to add that warm, sweet chili sauce that we made. Oh, man. All right, so it's always important to toast your buns. We got some good brioche buns here, fresh out of the oven, gently toasted, still nice and soft. This step here, my friends, is completely optional, but your boy likes his mayonnaise, so we're going down with just a little bit of mayo on both sides. We don't want any dry bread. Some of you guys will probably make fun of me in the comments, and that's fine. That's fine. A little mayo action on both sides. And now it's time to assemble the sandwich. Oh man, it's juicy too. Look at that. You can add as much or as little bit of this Asian slaw as you want. It's gonna provide a little additional crunch. And it's got some veggies in there for health. Brace yourself for a trademark money shot. Say it with me, guys. Looking good. All right, the only thing left to do, my friends, is get in here for a taste test. But before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. All right, let's get in here for a cross section. I'm starving. Oh man, look at that. Cheers, my friends. I'm breaking my diet for you. Going in for one more, I can't help it.